Welcome to the Flower Farm Sampler Quilt-Along series. I'm Shelley Kavana, author of the Flower Farm Sampler book, and it's my mission to help you make stunning quilts simply. If we haven't met before, I'm a quilt pattern and cross-stitch designer. I design fabric and I write quilting books like the Barnstar Sampler and the Flower Farm Sampler. You can find my patterns, fabrics, and books at your favorite local quilt shop, or you can find them online at our website at chorusquilts.com. You can also follow our quilty adventures on social media under the tag @ChorusQuilts. In our Flower Farm Sampler Quilt-Along series, we'll be working through all 18 blocks from my Flower Farm Sampler book, spread out over 12 months. To sew along with us, you'll need your fabric and the book. In these videos, also assume that you've prepped and cut your fabric pieces following the book's instructions. To make the blocks in the book, you won't need any specialty rulers, foundation paper piecing, or templates. Most of the blocks use my favorite stitch and flip techniques to create complex geometric designs with simple shapes. A few of our blocks do include triangles, which will piece oversized and trimmed down to perfection. All the stitch and flip basics are also covered on pages 10 through 13 of your book, so you'll definitely want to bookmark that section for handy reference. Instead of starting with block 1 and working our way chronologically through the book, we're going to begin with our smaller 8-inch blocks. This way we can practice techniques on a manageable scale before tackling our larger and more complicated blocks. You'll find our complete schedule, my list of must-have and nice-to-have tool recommendations, and a free downloadable block checklist so you can keep track of your progress, all on our Quilt-Along homepage. We've left the link to that in the description box below. In this week's video, we are working on block 12 of our Flower Farm Sampler project, which is the Lily block. You'll find the cutting and piecing instructions for this block on page 38 of your book. The Lily block is a wonderful chance to slow down a little and practice the techniques that we've already learned. This block is about simply enjoying the process of sewing without adding any brand new skills into the mix. Our Lily block is assembled using that familiar 9-patch layout with 3 rows of 3 units each. We have partial log cabin units for our corner units, just like the Star Jasmine blocks we worked on last month. Our side units begin with a square and square and then grow taller with an added F rectangle along the bottom edge. And finally, our center unit is simply a plain old B square. Just like last month, we're going to begin this week's assignment with some simple traditional piecing to make our corner units, which is step 1 in your book. You'll start by joining an A square and a D rectangle, and then you'll finish the unit off by sewing a C rectangle to the top edge. These quarter log cabin corners will help create the illusion of a star floating against the background in the finished block. This step is also the perfect spot for some chain piecing. Sew all of your A and D pairs first, and then press, and then finish things up by adding your C rectangles to each unit. It will speed up the process, and I find that it also helps keep my seams consistent as well. In step 2, we'll start off building our side units by making square in a square units with A, E, and G squares. We covered this technique in depth with our star flower block, so if you need a refresher, you can revisit that video on our Quilt-Along homepage, or you can also check out the detailed pictorial instructions on page 11 of your book. Once your square and square units are complete, then you simply need to add an F rectangle to the bottom edge. Make sure that you're matching your prints between the F and G pieces. And take care to not lose the tip of that diamond in your seam. I like to sew my units with the square and a square unit on top with the plain rectangle on the bottom. This way, I can guide the seam just a thread or two above the intersection to keep that diamond point nice and sharp. As you're pressing, press the seams towards the F rectangle to help reduce bulk. Now for the satisfying part of watching all of these units come together into our finished block. Once you've finished piecing the units in steps 1 through 3, you're ready to assemble your lily block. You'll lay out your pieces in 3 rows as pictured in your book. First, you'll sew the pieces into rows before joining the rows together. When sewing the top and bottom rows, practice your precision piecing by using a pin to help match up the point where the tip of your diamond in that square and square unit meets up with the corner of your A square in your corner units. Remember, if you're not happy with how your points match up, you don't have to rip everything out and start over. Simply pop open a few stitches on either side of the problem area, re-pin, and re-sew. This is usually enough to fix the issue perfectly. The middle row is super speedy to assemble because you have no seam intersections to match up, just straight 1/4 inch seams. If you've followed the pressing suggestions in the book, then as you join your rows together, the seams around that center square will nest beautifully. Be sure to take care to match up the points of your square and square units between the rows as well. And there you have it, a finished lily block. Don't forget to give yourself a little cheer because with every block you complete, you are one step closer to finishing this amazing quilt. Be sure to check out this month's companion block, Block 16, which is our Forget-Me-Nots, which you can find linked on our Quilt Along homepage below. And next month, we're moving on to Block 15, the Tea Rose. We'll revisit our stitch and flip rectangles to create these gorgeous spiraling blossoms. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for sewing along with me today. You can post your photos in our Flower Farm Sampler Quilt Along Facebook group or on Instagram and Blue Sky using #FlowerFarmSampler. And be sure to tag us at Chorus Quilts so that we can see your beautiful work too. Don't forget to grab your free Flower Farm Sampler checklist. You can find the link for the free download in the description box below. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more quilting videos. Hit the bell icon for notifications when we post new tutorials. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next time with another Flower Farm Sampler block.